Hey, what's going on, y'all? Back with the Heat of the Streets, man. It's aka Showtime. Hey, man, big ups to Shannon Sharpe, bro. From Undisputed, bro. I just seen a clip. I didn't get a chance to watch the show today. I woke up late or whatever, so I didn't get a chance to see the show today. But I seen a clip um today, and they was talking about a situation with Giants owner Bob John Murray, and he came out and basically said some things about Colin Kaepernick. And Shannon Sharpe went in on him. He basically was like, "Look, you worried about what the fans are going to think." He basically was talking about how John Murray said, if any team signs Colin Kaepernick, they don't want that kind of backlash from the fans and type of media attention. And Shannon Sharpe eated him. He basically was like, "Man, look, you talk all this shit about Colin Kaepernick, but you had a dude on your team that admitted to abusing his wife and Josh Brown over 20 times, over 20 different times, uh, throughout his time with the Giants." And he mentioned the Pro Bowl situation where, before this stuff really came out publicly, and how the NFL had to step in and move his wife to another hotel at the Pro Bowl one year when he got selected to the Pro Bowl, and he was abusing his wife at the Pro Bowl. And he basically was like, "Man, tell the truth about what this is about. Because if y'all really care what the fans thought, y'all, I mean, you wouldn't have a dude like Josh Brown in your team. Because when the fans came out and protested Josh Brown, and basically was like, 'Yo, get this dude off your team. He a woman beater. All this other stuff.' And you had people calling up the ESPN, had people calling up the Fox, and trying to report this story, telling them to report this story, and they didn't report this story until like a few weeks later and shit. Till the outrage got so big, you know what I'm saying? Unlike the Colin Kaepernick shit, but they waited on Josh Brown. But when that heat got too hot for him, and they had to report it, they reported it, and you know what I'm saying. He obviously got a 1 game suspension, and then everybody got mad about that, and then obviously he got cut and then suspended indefinitely or whatever, and now he's out of the league. Same as Colin Kaepernick, but I guarantee you, if somebody need a kicker, they probably try to re-sign Josh Brown. Talk about, oh, he's learned from his mistakes. He'll be rehabilitated. We got him on a no tolerance policy and all this other bullshit. But Colin Kaepernick can't get a fucking job. Shannon Sharpe mentioned, oh, they gonna talk about, oh, how he ain't play well, but he threw 16 touchdowns to only 4 interceptions last year. His quarterback rating in a lot of those games were, except for the Chicago game, and I can defend that because I'm like, look, dude, not really used to playing in cold weather like that. In San Francisco, everybody talk about San Francisco get chilly a little bit. Yeah, San Francisco do get chilly a little bit. I don't even live on the West Coast, but I know San Francisco gets chilly or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it only goes down to a certain temp. It ain't like over here where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? On DC and Maryland or whatever, where it's like 20, 30, 40-degree weather or whatever. But dude, not used to really playing the cold. And it was snowing, it was raining and all that other shit, so the ball was wet. And all that other stuff. Like, I mean, I can only defend it to a certain extent. I mean, at a certain point you do gotta play, but you know, it was a bad day, but at every other turn he stepped up to the plate and tried to help his team win as much as he could. Now he didn't win a lot of games, but that wasn't his fault. He had a horrible defense. He had a young wide receiving core. He had everything working against him, and I don't even think Chip Kelly deserved to get fired over that. I'm gonna defend Chip Kelly over that shit, and I'm not a huge Chip Kelly guy because of what happened with LaShawn McCoy and Deshaun Jackson and even Michael Vick. Even though he, in the Riley Cooper situation and shit like that. But I defend him at least to this extent is that what I'm saying, he won games in Philly. He got them to the playoffs. Um, one out of like 2 years that he was there. Um, and then he went to San Francisco after he got fired from Philly, and they knew it was a bad situation, and they still fired him. They knew it was a bad situation, and they still fired him. And they still got rid of their quarterback that got them 3 NFC Championship games in the fucking Super Bowl. They fired the coach that got them to three NFC Championship games and a fucking Super Bowl. But because they didn't like the way uh the way he wanted to control everything and the way he wanted a lot of power, which he deserved, obviously, because he knew what the fuck he was talking about and he knew what he was doing. They fired Jim Harbaugh and he went to Michigan and he gonna turn Michigan into a powerhouse. He might even win the national championship. And if he does that, well, I mean, whether he wins the national championship or not, if he turns Michigan back into a power program, he gonna get another NFL job in about a couple years. Because I don't think he gonna want to just stay in the contract in Michigan. He'll probably leave within a couple years and get another NFL job with a team that actually won him and an owner that's not gonna step in and and poking pride at him and shit and be like, nah, you ain't getting this type of power. I know you done led us to some success, but you ain't getting this type of power. You don't deserve it. But back to the whole Cap thing, man. Like, Cap deserve a job, bro. Mike Glennon, come on, man. Come on, really. I mean, I know he got railroaded a little bit in Tampa Bay. They was gonna draft James anyway. That's why he got replaced in Tampa. He got replaced by Josh McCown and shit in the middle of his time in Tampa Bay when he was a Buccaneer, because they signed Josh McCown to a 1 year deal, and he started and he played okay. But that was pretty much the end of Mike Glennon in Tampa Bay. But he got signed by Chicago. Mark Sanchez got signed by Chicago. Uh, EJ Manuel got signed by the Raiders, and I like EJ Manuel. I thought he got a raw deal in Buffalo. I thought he got a raw deal in Buffalo because he got hurt his rookie year. He was helping them win a little bit. That was even before they got some pieces around EJ. That was even before they got some pieces around EJ, and he was still winning. And then he got hurt. I think he got hurt against the game in a game against Cleveland and shit, and he was just never the same after that. But come on, man, Mark Sanchez, really? I know he had some success, but that was a lot of the defense in the running game. Rex Ryan put him in a perfect position. Other than that, he's been sorry. Check the tape on this motherfucker. Mike Glennon, Mark Sanchez, EJ Manuel, Ryan Fitzpatrick, for God's sakes. A man who's never been to the fucking playoffs. A man who choked last year, or a couple years ago when he had a chance to get the Jets to the playoffs and he threw like 5 interceptions against Buffalo and shit. Or 3 interceptions against Buffalo. He threw 5 against the Chiefs last year and shit in the game that they needed to stay alive in the playoff race, and he lost that game. So Ryan Fitzpatrick gets signed by the Bucks. Why? I don't know. But Kaepernick can't get a fucking job. Now, like I said, and I can't get the video to load, but y'all gonna hear this in the video that I'm gonna upload later. Once I figure out how to get my videos to load a little faster. But y'all gonna see this in a video, in one of my videos or whatever. That I talk about how, I talk about the Seahawks and Colin Kaepernick and how they was interested in working them out and signing them and meeting with them and stuff like that. But that'll be a perfect situation for Colin Kaepernick. I think the Cowboys would be a perfect situation for Colin Kaepernick because he'll be able to learn, you know, under under Dak Prescott how to lead the team and how to throw from the pocket a little bit more. Because the one flaw I do see in Cap's game is that he run a little bit too much. You know what I'm saying? He'll run first. He'll run first guy. That's what Harbaugh had him doing in San Francisco. It's like it was one read and go. He didn't go through his progressions a lot of the times, and I think that's what Dak do very well. Uh, he did for us last year, and he'll go to a perfect situation where he got everything. Got a running game. Got top of the line wide receivers, Hall of Fame tight end. Only thing is the defense. And he gonna have a young defense. Somewhat next year, same way Cap had last year. But if that get hurt or something like that, we got a dude that's capable of winning games. You know what I'm saying? As seen through his time in San Francisco. So it's no excuse, man. It's no excuse. And John Murray, you racist piece of shit. You gonna sit up there and talk about Colin Kaepernick, but you got to do it like Josh Brown beating the shit out of his wife uh, over 20 times and admitting to the NFL when they ain't do shit until the pressure got big and they had to respond to it. So fuck John Murray. You know what I'm saying? I got a bunch of videos coming out, man. Got a bunch of videos in the vault, man. The y'all not even hip to yet. I just gotta upload my videos not uploading that fast, man. I don't know why, but I get them out to you, man. I'm out. I'm out.